While we, wait for things to get rolling, um, it's nice and sunny here for this edition of Next Level from Level with Emily. Sorry, I'm getting my ears back in my head because I didn't mute myself and the other thing. Whatever. Welcome to Next Level from Level with Emily. I am the host, Emily Reese, and I'm here with producer Sam Keenan. Hello, Sam.
Yo.
And in just a moment, we're going to talk about this week's upcoming episode of Level, which is why we get together every Wednesday afternoon here in the city of Minneapolis. We're just going to go. I have mixed feelings about this place this time of year because I'm so sick of the weather. But
Well, technically, we're in the Twin Cities because I'm in St. Paul.
Oh, that's right. You're in St. Paul. God. Yep, right across that river. But it's sunny out, which is nice. It's bitterly cold today for this time of year. Let's be honest. 26 is a dream in Minnesota, no matter what. But 26 Fahrenheit. It's a little chilly out there, I went for a walk yesterday. It was biting wind. Whatever. I always talk about the weather.
Right.
I don't mean to throw you under the bus because it's mostly me, but yeah, we will be talking about a game that has weather a lot like ours, the Red Lantern, which came out in 2021. But the soundtrack by Hrishikesh Hirway is getting a vinyl release later this year, probably at the end of the summer or somewhere around there. And that's very exciting because we get 5 copies to give away, which is awesome. Like, it's going to be very exciting. So we have 5 copies of the vinyl, which is done by I Am 8-Bit. They're like such an important video game vinyl supplier. And they've done this really lovely release for it and going to come out in a few months. But 5 lucky patrons of Level will be eligible to win a copy. So that's pretty cool. But
cool.
Yeah, so that's
Do
going
we get to keep one?
No, probably not. We probably should give all 5 away. That's my thinking. Especially since I put it in the voiceover for the beginning that we're giving 5 away. Yeah. I bet if I asked nice, I could get another, but I don't think I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
That seems...
No.
Yeah. Doesn't seem cool.
Don't push it.
Don't push it. I'm so grateful that we're going to get those to give away though, because, and they're going to take care of all of it too, which is always nice. But yeah, it's exciting. And the soundtrack is great. Like I enjoy it a lot. It's very chill and, pretty. And, I don't know. I like it. What do you think of it, Sam?
I thought it was really fun. It was really chill and nice. It was a different kind of soundtrack than we've covered for a minute because he's a very kind of singer-songwritery sort of writer, and the music is a lot like that too. It kind of sounds like popish songs without a vocalist, which I like. Most of that kind of pop music, I wish the singer would shut the hell up anyway. So it's
It's so true. Like some of the songs I do expect someone in the corner of the coffee shop to be like, ha, da, ha. But you're like, no, this is great. It's really, I just was listening to it as I was setting up, and I've listened to it a number of times, just kind of surprised myself being like, oh, I'm going to listen to the Red Lantern, because I think there's something really familiar about that sound to us. Just, I feel like it's got some really like 90s elements to it.
100%, yeah.
And, I mean, that's like the bread and butter of my, adolescence and early adulthood. So, yeah, it just really resonated with me on a lot of levels. I thought it was great.
Yeah, no, it was clear that that he's like the same era as us, like he like the references and even musically and stuff. That music is very like kind of post grunge, everybody calming down after all that angry screaming in the early 90s, and it's like it's the references that he made to like Edward Scissorhands and
I knew you would love that
one political show that that you liked. What's it called?
Oh, The West Wing.
West Wing, yeah.
But also Sports Night. You watched Sports
It's-
Night, didn't you?
No, I checked in on it, but I didn't really watch it.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
yeah, it's
seems
just like
like it's
it's
kind of tame.
he's a child of that era, and
Yep.
it shows musically speaking too, I think. But yeah, but the soundtrack is just really nice vibes, and you kind of describe it when you're talking to him as warm
Mm-hmm.
and that is a perfect word for it, which kind of fits because the game all takes place in the ice and snow and stuff, and the music feels like a nice little warm blanket.
Yep, and we didn't even talk about that. I mean, the Red Lantern is a sled dog game. It's like an adventure, narrative, survival. There are survival aspects. Your dogs can die, but I think you can turn that setting off if you don't want them to, which is nice.
That's the easy mode, is to make the dogs immortal.
I think maybe emotionally easier. I don't know if the difficulty changes. I just think it means your dogs won't die. I don't know. And I mean, I'm not even a dog person, and I probably would turn that setting off. I don't want the dogs to die. So yeah, it's and the art is, it's an indie game, so it's just really artistically pretty and like consonant. I think of it as like visually consonant. Like the music matches it really well because the music is also very consonant. And let's listen to a little because we haven't even played anything. But let's, like, the very first track on the album, on the soundtrack album, is called Breathe In, and I think this just sums up everything that we just talked about like the vibe from the 90s and whatnot, but yet modern. That heartbeat.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like you're expecting a singer to come in right about now and ruin it.
Yeah.
And then there's no singer, and it just keeps on being chill, and it's like good vibes.
Yeah,
Intimate.
it is good vibes. Yeah, a singer would just, I think it's so well done just on its own. Yeah, I like the track names too, like in particular the one called There Are No Bad Dogs, which is a really sweet title and a really sweet track too. Yeah, it's nice. It's very nice.
Yeah, and all the guitar on it is like nylon string and really soft and
Yeah.
not aggressive and yeah.
Yeah, and you
Chill.
can see it in the video of us talking.
Oh,
It's
okay.
it's hanging on the wall behind him, and it's like, I don't even know if it's a 3/4 size guitar. It's a little nylon string, which is really neat and makes me really want one because it just sounds so nice, and I know it wouldn't hurt my fingers like my steel string
Right.
does. But Sacha is here, and it's funny because I typed Sacha's name into something because I was thinking of her while I was typing something, and I just looked up and I'm like, oh, I just typed her full name into the web browser or whatever it was. It cracked me up. But yes, All Dogs Go to Heaven. I remember that movie, and I think I watched it once because I just found it too traumatic. Like the thought, especially when I was younger, of like someone's pet dying, just I could not handle. And like, yeah, that movie with all the dead dogs up and no, can't do it.
I don't
Did you
remember
ever
that
see
movie
that
at
one?
all. I mean, I remember I definitely saw it. I remember the
Yeah.
general, vibe, and I remember like the poster and stuff, but
Yep.
maybe if it had mermaids in it or something, I would have remembered it more.
Just one can only wonder. Good Lord. Yeah. But the conversation with Hrishikesh was awesome. I loved talking with him. He's so busy all the time with so many projects musically, but also I kind of felt a little bit of a kindred spirit with him because he loves talking about music too. And, but also other things. He's had other podcasts, like you mentioned, The West Wing. Like he did a podcast with one of the West Wing actors about that TV show, which was one of my favorites back in the day. And he did one with Samin Nosrat, who's that amazing James Beard award-winning chef and multi-award winning for a million things, but also had a Netflix show called Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat, or is it Salt, Heat? I think it's Salt, Fat. It doesn't matter. Those 4 elements that you cook with: salt, fat, acid, and heat. And it was a book originally, and then it became a Netflix show, which was fantastic. I loved it. It's so good. And yeah, so he did a podcast with her about home cooking during the lockdown, which is great. So yeah, just an interesting guy. And of course, Song Exploder, which is the first podcast he ever did and also got turned into a Netflix show, which is very cool. So yeah, we just had a lot of things to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah, he's out there making stuff and hustling and trying things and we can relate.
Yeah. He's making a lot of cool stuff, and including all the solo things that he does. So he, for many years, had a solo project called the 1 a.m. Radio. The 1 a.m. Radio, just in case that kind of came out wrong. And all that stuff is most of that stuff's up on Spotify. The rest is up on Bandcamp if it's not on Spotify, or the other way around. I can't quite remember.
Okay.
But it's really great. I mean, if you like the Red Lantern music, you will like his music, because that's why he got hired for it, which was funny too. Like the people who hired him liked his solo stuff, and they're like, hey, will you do this thing and just do your thing? Which is cool, you know? I mean, we hear elements of composers in a lot of soundtracks, but more often than not, they're being kind of directed as to the style or something. And they just kind of let him be him, which I thought was really cool.
They kind of, like, it's obvious they picked him for his sound, and then he delivered it. Yeah.
So if you end up liking Red Lantern music, you'll definitely like his solo stuff. But he doesn't do anything under the 1 a.m. radio anymore. It's just his name, Hrishikesh Hirway. So you can find him and he just released a new single too, which we got a little bit of in the episode that's going to come out Friday as well, which is cool. So just a really interesting guy. You know, it was really fun to talk with him. And you were here for that interview, weirdly.
Yeah.
Which isn't normal, but you were sitting in my little like dining area or whatever you would call it, just working away, doing your own thing. So that was funny how that ended up working out. But yeah, did any tracks stand out to you, or do you want me to just pick one for our?
Well, my favorite one personally was the holiday one.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot, and I think I liked the kind of especially sort of upbeat and hopefulness of that one, and I thought it melded well with his general sensibilities and stuff. But do you have that one?
I do, yeah.
I mean, it's a little bit of Santa took some Quaaludes, but
Santa took some Quaaludes. Amazing.
This is Holiday Lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ooze haven't come in yet.
Okay.
Yeah. I think now.
Yeah. And you can hear the Elfman influence there.
Yep.
But it's just really pretty and nice and slow in a good way, and
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you could imagine being like out in some wintry like
Yes.
cabin or something, looking out at the slowly falling snow and
or like watching Home Alone or something. Yeah.
right.
Yeah. I felt one of the things that really worked for me the most on this whole soundtrack was his dedication to keeping the melodies really simple and not just in their phrasing or construction, but also in the texture of the melody. So like not having a ton of other instruments playing counter melodies or playing harmony along with the melody. It was like a lot of octaves or just unison lines. And I thought that was really sweet. And it just kind of reminded me of like the wonder that you get when you look into a dog's eyes compared to a cat, right? Like a cat is just like whatever, but a dog
all
is
you
all
see
like,
is death when you look into a cat's eyes.
or just apathy, but like dogs just seem so eager to please in a lot of ways, and you would imagine that sled dogs are especially so, that they're just that's how they are. And so I feel like the melodies and the music in the whole soundtrack really captured that really well. Yeah, it's good stuff. Anything else you want to say about Hrishikesh Hirway and the Red Lantern? That'll be this week's upcoming episode. And just one last reminder that we'll have 5 copies of the vinyl to give away, which is very exciting. That's the whole reason he and I spoke now, because the game came out like almost 2 years ago. It came out in 2021, but it's getting a vinyl release this summer. And we get to give 5 copies away to patrons. So if you are a patron, you will automatically be eligible to win a copy of that. You won't have to do anything extra. You're already entered in that delightful drawing. So now, anything else you want to say? Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. It's a cool episode, cool game. It was fun. I remember checking it out when I was at your place.
Yep.
I forget, did you have a copy of it, or were we just watching?
We were watching a walkthrough.
Walkthrough, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just looked like a neato indie game and a fun little story game that would be worth any gamer's time.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Just make sure your dogs don't die.
Yeah, just turn
that
the
setting
immortal
off.
dogs on.
Yeah, exactly. God dog.
Yeah. And the name, the Red Lantern, for the comic book nerds out in the world, it has nothing to do with any comic book stuff, because that's like the first thing I thought when I heard it. But
well, who's the Red Lantern? Now we got.
Well, there's the Red Lantern Corps, which is a whole like subsidiary of the Green Lantern, and yeah.
That's something we don't talk about much here, but if you ever need to know anything about comics, Sam's your guy. Or Star Trek or Star Wars.
Yeah. Unless you get me amongst real experts, and then I don't know Jack.
I don't know. You hold your own.
Then I don't know Jack Crusher.
Jack Crusher. None of us did until a few weeks ago. But I wanted to say something else about something you said. You said something... It doesn't matter. I don't remember what it was. I don't remember. I don't remember. It's not worth the time it would take me to recall that brain cell. But yeah, it was a fun episode to work on. Excited to share it with everybody Friday. Hoping to get a guest playlist up tomorrow. Still unsure if that will happen or not. But yeah. Hope you enjoy the show on Friday. We look forward to sharing it with you. Join us on Discord. That link is down in the show notes. And again, patrons are automatically eligible. No matter what level you are, you're automatically eligible to win that vinyl. Learn about us at levelwithemily.com. Join us at patreon.com/level. Yeah. All right.
All that stuff.
All the good stuff.
And hi and bye, Sasha, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Hi and bye, Sasha. All right. Hi and bye, everybody else, too.